In the year 2483, humanity stood on the edge of extinction, not because of war or plague but because of isolation. The stars were full of civilizations, but none would speak to Earth. For decades, mankind had sent messages into the void, pleading for contact, trade, or even acknowledgement. The only response was silence. Until the Corethians arrived. They came in ships like floating cathedrals, polished silver hulls that glowed with rivers of blue energy. When the first of their vessels descended over the Pacific Ocean, all of Earth watched in awe. They called themselves the sovereign people of Carathon, rulers of a star empire that spanned hundreds of light years. Their emissary was Princess Ilyara, heir to the Corethian throne. She was tall and willowy, her skin a faint iridescent sheen that shimmered like the surface of a pearl. Her eyes held entire galaxies, two swirling orbs of violet and gold. She was beauty and power made flesh. But when she stepped onto Earth for the first time, she did something no one expected. She bowed. And not to a world leader or general, but to a man named Dr. Elias Ward, a linguist and historian from the United Earth Academy. The world froze. Every camera in every city broadcasted the same image. A princess from beyond the stars kneeling before an ordinary human. The moment became an immortal still frame in history. The beginning of the alliance. Elias himself was stunned. He'd been selected only to assist with translation during the first formal contact. When Ilyara approached him, he expected protocol, formality, certainly not reverence. "I bow," she said through her translator device, her voice melodic and resonant, "to the one whose words reached us first." It turned out that decades earlier, one of the many messages Earth had sent into space, a recording of greetings and poetry in dozens of languages, had reached Carathon. Most alien civilizations dismissed human signals as primitive noise, but Ilyara, then a young scholar, had found something different in them. Emotion. She'd listened to the human poems, studied their music, and read their encoded literature until she wept. In her words, "You alone among the stars wrote to be understood, not feared." Her bow, she explained, was not to Elias himself, but to what he represented, humanity's willingness to reach out with hope instead of conquest. The world was moved. For the first time in centuries, nations set aside their disputes to welcome a visitor from beyond. The Corethians shared limited technology, energy stabilization systems, anti-gravity engines, and medical scanners that could heal bone in seconds. In return, Earth offered its creativity, art, and language. But not all were at peace. Some believed the aliens' gifts came with a hidden cost. Conspiracy networks spread rumors that the Corethians were manipulating genetics, preparing to enslave humankind through soft power. Governments began arguing over who would control the alien technologies. And amidst this growing tension, a secret was uncovered, one that would shake the foundation of both worlds. The secret beneath the bow. Elias was invited aboard Ilyara's flagship, the Veil of Suns, orbiting Earth like a silent moon. Inside, corridors glowed with ambient light that responded to thought. Every surface shimmered like liquid glass, and the air carried a faint hum, almost a song. There, Ilyara confided in him. "The bow," she said, "was not mere symbolism. It was a pledge. Royal vow. By Corethian law, when I bow to another, I bind my fate to theirs." Elias froze. "You mean, you're sworn to me?" "To your cause," she corrected. "To the survival of your people." But she also revealed the reason for their sudden appearance. The Corethian Empire was dying. A cosmic plague called the Veil Rot was consuming their star systems, turning once thriving worlds into glassy wastelands. Their scientists had traced its origin to Earth. Centuries ago, a human probe, launched without regulation, had carried an experimental quantum drive that destabilized subspace near Carathon. It had gone unnoticed until the damage spread uncontrollably. Now, Ilyara's mission was twofold: seek forgiveness and find a cure. Elias was torn. Humanity had caused unimaginable suffering, but they'd done so in ignorance. Together, he and Ilyara began searching for a way to reverse the veil rot. They discovered ancient Carithian texts describing a lost star heart, an artifact that could mend fractured space. The journey to find it would test both their species and their bond. The journey beyond the stars. When word of their mission leaked to the public, chaos erupted on Earth. Some accused Ilyara of lying, claiming the plague story was a trap to justify annexing humanity. Others rallied to her cause, believing that saving Carathon could redeem Earth's reckless past. Despite political pressure, Elias chose to go with her. Their ship crossed hyperlanes through nebulae and dead systems. Along the way, he saw wonders no human had imagined: planets of living crystal, suns shaped by ancient engineering, vast archives where thoughts were stored like music. But the further they traveled, the more Ilyara weakened. The veil rot was not just consuming her worlds, it was infecting her body. The disease devoured quantum patterns, unraveling her existence piece by piece. One night, beneath the starlight of a binary system, she confessed, "When I bowed, I didn't just bind my fate to yours. I made you my anchor. If I die before the veil rot is cured, the sickness will follow my bond to Earth." Elias realized the horrifying truth. Saving her wasn't just about compassion, it was survival. After months of searching, they found the star heart, buried within the ruins of Carathon Prime. The artifact pulsed with energy so old it predated their universe. But activating it required a living mind to merge with it, to become its guardian. Ilyara, weakened but resolute, volunteered. Elias tried to stop her. "You'll die." She smiled faintly. "Then let my death be worth something." The choice that changed everything. In the final chamber, the star heart awakened, a sphere of light suspended in zero gravity, its glow bending reality. Ilyara stepped forward, her body disintegrating into strands of energy as she fused with the artifact. Elias shouted, trying to pull her back, but a barrier of pure power threw him aside. Then silence. Moments later, the chamber erupted with light. The veil rot's tendrils across space began to retract, reversing their destruction. Worlds that had turned to glass shimmered with rebirth. When the light faded, Ilyara was gone. Only her voice remained, echoing in Elias's mind. "Your species reached for the stars not with weapons, but with words. Never forget that hope is the strongest force in the universe." And then she was silent. Elias returned to Earth a changed man. He carried a fragment of the star heart within him, a gift or perhaps a curse. He could sense the quantum pulse of the universe, the faint heartbeat of the stars themselves. The Carithian Empire hailed him as the keeper of the bond. Humans, once ignored by the cosmos, were now welcomed among the galactic races, not because of power, but because of a single act of humility that reshaped history. And somewhere in the background radiation of the universe, there was a faint whisper, the voice of a princess who had bowed to a human, and in doing so, saved two worlds. Epilogue. Years later, children across Earth learned about the day the alien princess bowed. Statues were built in her honor, one on Earth, one on Carathon Prime. Elias spent the rest of his life studying the nature of the star heart, never remarrying, never seeking fame. When he died, instruments across the galaxy registered a burst of light identical to the one that saved Carathon centuries earlier. Some said it was coincidence. Others believed that in that moment, Ilyara and Elias were reunited. Two souls bound by destiny, forever orbiting one another among the stars. And so, the story of the alien princess who bowed to a human became a legend, not of conquest or war, but of understanding, sacrifice, and the unbreakable bond between two beings who dared to believe that empathy could save the universe.